Good morning. Colonel Chuck Coleman, U.S. Army retired, is the recently retired Process Control Manager for Lind Hydraulics Corporation in Canfield, Ohio. A 1968 graduate of Cheney High School and was commissioned from West Point in 1972, Colonel Coleman is a graduate of the U.S. Army Infantry, Intelligence and Engineer Schools, the Command and General Staff College, and the U.S. Army War College. He is retired from the Army in 2002 after 30 years of combined active and reserve component duty, including assignments as a special agent with the U.S. Army Intelligence and the Defense Investigative Service. He was also the Assistant Professor of Military Science at YSU, Design Engineer for the 16th Engineer Brigade, part of the Ohio Army National Guard. He was also Director of Intelligence and Security for the Ohio National Guard and Commander of Fort Ohio, which includes Camp Perry, Camp Sherman, and Camp Garfield. His awards include the Army Commendation Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal with 4 oak leaf clusters, and the Legion of Merit. Colonel Coleman has a Bachelor's of Science degree in Engineering from West Point and an MBA from Baldwin Wallace College, and was a Senior Fellow in International Security Studies at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University in Boston. Colonel Coleman lives with his wife, Holly, in Canfield, where he is a proud member and Vice Commander of American Legion Post 117. Please give a great cardinal welcome to Colonel Chuck Coleman.
Good to see you again.
Oh, thank you very much. Mr. Moldovan, faculty, staff, students of Canfield High School, and honored veteran guests. Military service by its nature is temporary. The legacy of that service, however, can benefit generations for centuries. Veterans Day can be traced to the armistice which ended World War I. Though the peace of that treaty did not survive the fascist tyrannies of Hitler and Mussolini, the freedom enjoyed by Europeans today is the result of that service and sacrifice made by millions of U.S. veterans. It is the legacy of those who have worn the uniform of the United States, a legacy of freedom. It is a legacy that has spread the globe. First Lieutenant Ralph Puckett, Jr., was commanding officer of the 8th Ranger Company, 82nd Army Unit, 8th U.S. Army. Outnumbered and seriously wounded twice by the enemy in Unsan, Korea, during a 2-day battle in 1950, he continued to lead his company of Rangers through machine gun fire in order to capture objectives and direct artillery. When his wounds prevented him from moving, he told his soldiers to leave him behind. Despite his objections, his soldiers dragged him from the hill to a position of safety. Lieutenant Puckett would survive the battle and eventually retire from the Army as a colonel in 1971. Even his lengthy military career was temporary when compared to the legacy that still continues in Korea. Without the sacrifice of veterans, including Colonel Puckett, freedom and democracy we enjoy today couldn't have blossomed in Korea, South Korean President Moon Jae-in said earlier this year during a White House ceremony in which Colonel Puckett received his well-deserved Medal of Honor from President Biden. Another distinguished hero, the late Admiral Jeremiah Denton, spoke of the long but temporary ordeal he experienced as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. If I had known when I was shot down that I would be there more than 7 years, I would have died of despondency, of despair. But I didn't. It was 1 minute at a time, 1 hour, 1 week, 1 year, and so on. If you look at it like that, anybody can do anything, unquote. Excuse my paper. That type of toughness, commitment, and perseverance is not unusual among veterans. Their exploits are legendary. After Harriet Tubman led hundreds of slaves to freedom through the Underground Railroad, she served as a cook, nurse, and spy for the Union Army during the Civil War. Frederick W. Smith served 2 tours as a Marine in Vietnam before launching Federal Express, a company that would grow into an $84 billion global enterprise. Baseball great Jackie Robinson, surgeon Michael DeBakey, and computer scientist Grace Hopper were other Americans whose contributions to culture and society reach far beyond their military service. Even so, can any CEO or cultural icon truly claim to have greater responsibility than a platoon commander leading a team in combat? For these young people, a bad day at work does not mean a blown account or lost business. It can mean watching a best friend die, lose a limb, or being immersed in the collateral suffering that is synonymous with war. Even veterans who have not experienced combat share a bond with those who have. They have all expressed a willingness to die for their country if called upon. They have all subjected themselves to a military justice system which requires strict obedience and professionalism, and they have all pledged loyalty to the U.S. Constitution. In the book Walk in My Combat Boots by James Patterson and Matt Eversman, the authors interviewed veterans of various eras and published their accounts. Navy reservist Ryan Leahy spoke of the rivalry as well as the bond. While on active duty, he felt a sense of dread in 2007 when he was approached by a Marine Vietnam War veteran in a bar. "Oh man, he's going to give me crap about being a Navy guy," Leahy later recalled. Leahy, who had not seen combat, was surprised when the Vietnam veteran instead thanked him. When asked why, the vet said, "You guys saved my life more times than I can count. I can't tell you the number of times we would have been dead, but we were able to pick up the phone and you guys came in and got everybody out." We in the American Legion welcome and encourage conversations such as these among veterans. We call them buddy checks. We remind all veterans that their service matters. We remind them that their well-being matters, especially to us. Most importantly, we offer our friendship and assistance. You can also show your support for these great men and women by patronizing a veteran-owned business or donating to a veteran program. And you can simply thank them for their service. Fewer than 10% of Americans can claim the title of veteran, less than 0.5% of our population. But the Canfield community has a great veteran legacy, as evidenced by the flags that fly over their graves on patriotic holidays and the names you see etched on the Veteran Memorial Wall and at the Veteran Museum walkways. Veterans have given us freedom and security in the greatest nation on earth. It's impossible to put a price on that. We must remember them. We must appreciate them. God bless you all for being here. God bless our veterans. God bless America. And go Army. Beat Navy. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Coleman. I only wish that Mayor Duffett was here to hear your last remark about Army and Navy there. As you can see up in the front here, while our choir gets ready, we have some distinguished gentlemen from the American Legion. Could you gentlemen please stand and face our crew here? Let's give them a great round of applause for their service.